First, I want to give all honor and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to the Wacky that's also out here pushing the truth on the four quarters of the earth, whether it be a small city or a large city. We're declaring this word out in the streets publicly. And so we're just going to march right into it, because we've been tearing down the strongholds of Esau, the so-called white man, and one of the main things has been stretched Christianity, as well as all the other false doctrines, which are really pretty much eating this tree of knowledge of good and evil, meaning that trying to be like God and trying to go off on other concepts, which have nothing to do with biblical concepts or precepts, but rather following his wackiness, and so we have established, though, that Lucifer, Satan, and are pretty much not the same thing. That Satan means adversary too. Thus, get thou behind me, Satan. Get away from me, you adversary. Is what the true definition of Satan is. So adversary. So another wacky Christian concept, of course, is these things concerning Leviathon. Being another name of the devil, just like they try to say Lucifer, which means light bearer or morning star, being Satan, adversary. But it's not true, but is true. And we're going to get into that because, of course, Leviathan, has been likened unto Satan because of the fact that, he, when disturbed and all that, he does go after the Edomites. He does go after the evils, and he's commended to by the Most High. So, in essence, Satan means adversary, so we can see why one of these wacky Christian concepts is that Leviathan is Satan. But we're just going to get into it because Godzilla movies and other things about the sea creature and all that, coming out of the sea, creature from Black Lagoon and all that are all precepts of Leviathan, who Leviathan is. But another wacky Christian concept, of course, is that it's the beast rising out of the sea. And then, of course, they try to show us werewolf movies and shit like that to say that that's the mark of the beast. When the mark is an RFID chip in the right hand or forehead, you can't buy, sell, or trade, but they want you to believe it's the bite of a werewolf, and just all this wackiness, especially, Leviathan being the beast rising out of the sea, which the beast rising out of the sea is talking about when Esau rose to power. Thus the first beast as the Roman Empire, when he first rose to power. But, these wacky Christian concepts want you to believe that Leviathan is the beast rising out of the sea. So we're just going to read the scriptures concerning Leviathan and prove that, the beast rising out of the sea and Leviathan are really two different things. But is, in fact, adverse to Esau, the so-called white man. So I'm going to read out of Job chapter 41, because this is the ones that talk about Leviathan in the sea. Chapter 41, verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make any supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall thy compassions make a banner or a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whosoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will counsel his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment? Or who can come to him with double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between him. They are joined one to another. They stick together, they cannot be sundered. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are the eye shields of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks or fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goes smoke, out of a seething pot or cauldron. Again, this is talking about Leviathon, which actually lives in the midst of the sea. So Esau tries to get that mixed up with the beast rising out of the sea, which the beast, we know, is the Roman Empire, you know, the first beast. And then we have the second beast, which is the revised Roman Empire, you know, when they came back to power during the Renaissance era, and then they hide the faces and judges thereof, thus take out our images and put up his images, you know, to look like the so-called white man, and then change his very name to the Greek god Zeus, calling him Jesus, you know, because they had to doctor it up enough, you know, to where it wouldn't be direct Greek mythology, but they would use the Bible to pretty much catfish us, you know, to hoodwink us, if you will, because catfish and hoodwink are really mean the same thing in the essence of, you know, being catfished, being hoodwinked. So, you know, another one of them wacky Christian concepts is that Leviathon's another name of Satan, you know, the beast rising out of the sea. And quite simply put, Esau wants you to believe that it's everything else but himself. Thus, he wants you to believe that the Arabs are the Edomites, or that the Edomites were defeated in 70 AD. You know, but we're tearing down that stronghold, and we're coming against Edom, because Edom has been made bare, which is what Esau's new name is, you know. His name was changed to Edom, you know. So these Edomites, you know, they pretty much want you to believe everything else, you know. They don't want you to know that they're the very adversary. They are Satan. They're the devils, which devil also means pretty much deceiver. They're the deceivers of the whole world. Thus, Satan coming back into power again, you know. The Edomites, the Roman Empire rising back to power again, is what Revelation chapter 20 verse 7 on up is talking about. But it's for a short time, and we're in that short time now, you know. I know it doesn't seem like it, you know, 600 or 700 years that Esau's been in power, but yet at the same time, it's a short time as compared to eternity, you know, because one day 1,000 years, 1,000 years one day. So, you know, pretty much, you know, they hide the faces and judges thereof. You know, they don't want us to think that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans were, in fact, the Israelites. And, you know, Esau's been deceiving the whole world, pretending to be the Jews, you know, pretending to be the tribe of Judah, and then calling the real Jews, the real Judites, niggers, you know. And it's just not true, but they want us to be at the bottom of the barrel. And eventually we're not going to be at the bottom of the barrel. You know, we're going to rise up, you know. And you got confusion of faces among that. And eventually, you know, part of our blessings when we receive our spiritual body, you know, after this time is past, there will no longer be confusion of faces. However, though, being confusion of faces tears down their stronghold of saying that we're the black Hebrew Israelites. Well, then how do you explain the Latinos and Native Americans? And then the even bigger blow to that, confusion of faces like myself. You know, people that look like other nations, but yet are prophesying the same thing. That Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of, the deceiver, who has deceived the whole world with his concepts, you know. Because stretch Christianity is really Greek mythology. We've been pretty much proven that, you know, that Esau, when he came back into power again, you know, he took over the structure of Greece and of Egypt, and then started incorporating their gods into what we now know as stretched Christianity. You know, and they hid the faces and the judges thereof, you know, and put his images up, you know, crossed out our images, and pretty much catfished us with the Cesare Borgia image, you know, and got us to pray unto Hail Zeus, you know, because that's the name. And so, you know, changed his name from a Hebrew name to a Greek name to Zeus, pretty much, because that's what Jesus means, you know. And so we've been tearing down that stronghold, and you know, we're trying to bring light unto that. So, you know, what's happening now is, you know, try to get this word out into the city of Reading, you know, and into public places, you know. But like everything else, being a one-man camp, you know, you pretty much don't want to get run off before the thing totally gets started, but yet you want to get your foot in the door. You want to get it out there, which is why I've been picking different places to teach. Like right now I'm in Caldwell Park at the Sacramento River, which is still a public place and all that, because of course I got run off by security, you know, for teaching over at the Cal Works, which is near the bus station, you know. So and I've done a few bus stops here or there, you know, but pretty much getting this word out here, pushing this word on the highways and byways, on the hedges like we're supposed to. And this is a hedge right here. This is the Sacramento River, Caldwell Park. And so just getting this out there, you know, to hopefully reach the hopeful elect, you know, which are the blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and the confusion of faces that be among us, you know, that, you know, just pretty much it's in us. We just needed to hear the right words, you know, to come out. And that's what we're trying to do, is to wake up the hopeful elect so we can get out of Babylon the Great. Because we want America to be destroyed. We want this place gone. We're tired of everything. We're tired of the chemtrails. We're tired of the pollution. We're tired of the vaccinations. We're tired of, you know, the forced, you know, GMOs to eat, you know, because they want to poison our food. Because Esau is the poison. Just like he gave us smallpox years ago to get rid of us, he's doing that with the foods. He's doing that in the air. You know, these are the same terrorists. You know, and that's another word, terrorism. And terrorists, because we know Esau is a terrorist, but he'll never call himself a terrorist. He'll call every other group terrorist but himself. But yet it is him that is going into Syria and pretending to be ISIS and everything else as a proxy so they could just attack Syria, you know, to say that they're fighting ISIS, which in fact they are ISIS. They are the Israeli Secret Intelligence Services. You know, they pretend to be the Israelis, you know, which is Israeli state. But they want you to believe that it's Islam, which Esau created the religion of Islam to bind the Arabs, you know, the Ishmaelites, into thinking, you know, because Allah, you know, is not even a name of the Most High. You know, Allah, you know, just pretty much means, you know, a God, you know. So they want, you know, they pretty much, you know, just like they did with stretch Christianity, Islam's another one that has been deceptive to our people, you know. But the idea and concept is that Leviathan, and this is another thing about the other interpretations of the Bible. It'll say, I beheld a wild beast, I beheld a creature. You know, one of the translations says that, you know, concerning Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. You know, so they want you to believe that Leviathan is linked up to the beast of Revelation, because Esau's trying to hide himself, you know, trying to hide, in fact, that the first beast is really the Roman Empire, and the second beast is the revised Roman Empire. And the other big one is they want you to think that that Babylon the Great, Mystery Babylon, is the Roman Catholic Church. And that's another wacky Christian concept we've been pretty much tearing down. You know, that Babylon the Great, the hammer of the whole earth, is America. America has been the hammer of the whole earth. It has enslaved many others, you know, who has pretty much taken over the whole world, you know. And, but is now, the whole world is uniting together to finally bring down this place, Babylon the Great, and it will be destroyed by nuclear fire. It's just a matter of time. All these nations are getting ready to bend the bow, you know, or getting arms deals and getting ready to destroy America for good. You know, because America pretty much has been the hammer of the whole earth, has destroyed and enslaved other nations with their bullshit. You know, it's like, you know, if you give up your weapons now, you will have our protection. Yeah, that really happened. That was good for Libya, you know, and it's good for Syria. You know, Assad, give up your weapons and you won't be attacked. You know, yeah, right. You know, and then Esau created ISIS to go after Syria. Anyways, even though Assad had given up those weapons. And the same thing with Saddam Hussein. That was another one. You know, pretty much they tried to say that he was using weapons of mass destruction. But yet, you know, during the whole bullshit Operation Iraqi Freedom, which was everything but freedom, they didn't liberate them, they enslaved them. but they call it Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then what do? They use nuclear weapons against Fallujah to bring down Fallujah, but they called them quote-unquote bunker-busting bombs, because remember, Saddam Hussein was, hiding in the shelters, so they were using bunker-busting bombs to make it sound better. But no, they were using nuclear weapons, tactical nukes against Iraq, but yet the whole reason to go after Iraq is because they supposedly had weapons of mass destruction. So you can see Esau's been the deceiver of the whole world, And like everything else, though, people just believe whatever they're told on the TV is actual news, But yet they're the fake news, but they call alternative media fake news. You see, Esau lies about everything. So anyhow, hope this has been edifying, and like everything else, we'll be back again soon, and may or may not do this location. Maybe I will. We'll just see how this plays out. Until then, shalom.